Okay. All right, all right. Master that right quick. So today's gonna be a relatively short stream, but I just wanted to pop in and really just share some practice, really just, well, hat was backwards. Share some sort of breathwork practice, probably work on some sort of Tai Chi, sort of bag work practice we've been sort of tentatively introducing. But at this time, I really just want to share openly that I posted a post, right, about how I've recently made this massive breakthrough with my roving setup. That is, I basically found myself discover that I can basically hook up my audio interface into a laptop and bring my audio interface setup anywhere I go. So basically, long story short, what that means is that the idea is when I go and, busk in parks or in the forest or wherever I go, I basically am compromising my sound quality tremendously because I'm feeding it through this baby, the Black Starfly amp, which honestly, pretty good sound setup for a roving setup. But it always kind of irks me because when I'm performing and I'm just, playing for strangers in these spaces, they're basically experiencing a very diluted sound. It's not mastered. The harmonics come out kind of grainy. The slap harmonics aren't very full. The violin strikes are not very, I would say, crisp and full like you hear them on these streams or how I do them when I studio record them. But what I figured out as of recently is I can just bring a laptop, plug in my interface, bring the interface with me, and then actually plug in this entire setup anywhere I go. I run it right through the Black Star amp, and immediately I can do any powerful master dynamic anywhere I go. So basically, it excites me like crazy. Where every given instance where I'm sitting there, performing in a SkyTrain place or transit or a park or in a beach or in a forest, I can actually put out a mastered studio quality audio, which is insane. I've actually been thinking about it nonstop the last 48 hours. Now I have to actually do some stuff to get the proper charger to use my laptop, and I got to do some sort of some troubleshooting to make the laptop work successfully. But this is really just blowing my mind. It's just like basically I've never to this day actually ever been able to offer a mastered studio quality sound when I'm busking. Literally never once. Every time I go out there, I'm like, playing guitar, doing the pan flute thing, but they always hear this like grainy, sort of unmastered sound, which it is what it is. People can appreciate it for different reasons. But it blows my mind. I'm like, this is so dope that I can actually play. And every note, like, whether here I am playing, say you hear that, tapping combo, right? It sounds very full. You get the full sound. Even that, you hear that, that's like a slap harmonic. It really just creates the fullest sound and really just has that. It's received very beautifully by the ear. It's very aesthetic, very balanced. And yeah, to this time, every single time I would take my guitar and my setup outside of the house, it would not receive that way. It was like I was compromising the sound. Yeah. So I'm just excited as fuck because I'm like, man, this is going to be, once I get this fully set up, later today I'm going to get the proper charger, check out, I might have to purchase a new laptop for this, but the idea is I can now run my roving setup through an interface, and then it's going to allow me, when I go and perform in public or just go to parks and beaches and forests, especially even if I'm doing like these guided meditative journeys, the sound will be just as crisp as if I'm just chilling in my room, doing a studio setup. It'll be mastered. So I'm extremely excited. This changes literally everything. It makes it so everything I record will have studio quality mastering. Even if I'm chilling in the middle of a forest, if I'm in the middle of a freaking mountainside, if I'm chilling in a park or busking in a public transit place, it will sound the very same. Which again, for me, this is like I've never had that opportunity to do that. So it's not only going to make me feel more confident and happy to be like, you know what, every note that I would play will be received and will sound so beautiful to any given person that gets to experience it. So anyways, that's part of what I've been excited about, among various things. Mm. Ah, yes. Chapter 1, Osho. Love, freedom, and aloneness. Love is not what is ordinarily understood by the word. The ordinary love is just a masquerade. Something else is hiding behind it. The real love is a totally different phenomenon. The ordinary love is a demand. The real love is just sharing. It knows nothing of demand. It knows just the joy of giving. The ordinary love pretends too much. The real love is non-pretentious. It simply is. The ordinary love becomes almost sickening, syrupy, drippy, what you might call lovey-dovey. It is sickening, it is nauseating. But the real love is nourishment. It strengthens your soul. The ordinary love only feeds the ego, not the real you, but the unreal you. The unreal always feeds the unreal. Remember this, that the real feeds the real. And it goes much deeper, but that's, the first opening statement of chapter 1. Welcome, 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 welcome. Can I play my guitar normally? That I can, but I choose to play it much more abnormally, brother. Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice. 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 I love this KNPA, or whatever your name is pronounced in Russian, Ukrainian, whatever you represent. Brother, you've made the executive decision. Congratulations. You've made the executive decision to show up this way. Whatever your name is, KNPA, you've made this cordial executive decision that the first thing you desire to do when you enter this channel, this portal, is to basically offer a bunch of very bizarre, I must say, projections. You know, almost like maybe it's very, what's the word, cynical or trivial, or maybe you're trying to be comedic in the nature of it, but you've made the executive decision to show up this way from the get-go. That, to me, says everything about you, KNPA. So I have to say very confidently, you're not the target audience. You're not. This is a channel that I actually am desiring to create for people that practice self-awareness, you know, devoted musicians, creators, free thinkers, philosophers. And based on the way that you've chosen to show up in this instance, KMPA, or whatever your name is, just based on your own, this is your personal choice. You're not my target audience. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for trying to reveal your truth and express your truth. But I don't think you're the guy. You're not one that desires to be a part of this community. That's okay. You know, just food for thought. I'm going to continue to play guitar and continue with the stream, share some breath work, share some philosophy. Unfortunately, I have limited time, but just the food for thought is people may or may not realize that the way they show up from the get-go, you know, the way they choose to just jump into a portal, whether it's a social portal, a stream, and, you know, basically reveal their own projections of what their own ego is seeing, or, you know, it's basically what they're not saying says more about what they actually mean. And a homie like KMPA, all he sees is his own criticisms, his own negative projections, or whatever's going on. I don't know, bro. Like, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. Oh, one sec. We gotta uninstall our minimalist app. Give us 1 second. Beautiful, and we are back. And basically, I have an app that's called Minimalist App that times me out every 15 minutes. It's a phone management app. I forgot to uninstall when I popped on the stream. But yes, welcome, blessings from Canada to Ukraine, and much love. I'm half Ukrainian actually, so I love Ukrainians. I honestly love all Slavic kind of European cultures. Of course, being half Ukrainian, it holds a special place in my heart, in all truth. But anyways, with that, we're gonna do some music here. Of course, we wouldn't be fully in this flow if we didn't receive or grab our violin bow. 1 second, let me grab our violin bow. Oh, yeah, there we go. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day so far on the YouTube sphere. Whatever is flowing through in your reality, whether you are in a cultivative stage of your creative journey, or, you're finding yourself desire to lean into awakening your own somatic expression. Maybe it's like your nervous system is reaching out for something. I hope you find that which your nervous system is desiring from you. Whether that's to awaken, the parasympathetic, to relax basically. Or that is maybe your nervous system just needs to breathe and honor that. I hope you find that, friend. I truly do. Very cool sound. Why, thank you. Hey, well, thank you. What's good? I'm going great, brother. I look like Heath Ledger. That's funny. I know. I get that. I get that every day. But rest in peace. Weirdly enough, I was watching some interviews with Heath Ledger earlier. He pops on my YouTube feed all the time. Just like interviews of him and him talking about his movies. He's a mysterious character. Peak brain, rot. Nice. Yes. Cody, thank you, brother. Thank you for sharing your truth. You've just beautifully displayed and revealed your hand. Like if we were playing a game of poker, you, Cody, just did that, brother. You just revealed your hand. You revealed something deeply about yourself. And the simplest, right, brother? You made, again, just like the other dude, you popped in this stream. You made the executive decision. You're like, I could have said a billion different things. You could have commented on this or, shared whatever perspective. But you made the executive decision, Cody, to pop onto this stream. And then that's the first thing that came to mind, was project your own insecurities about hats and this and that and your brain health. I don't know. That's your prerogative, brother, but you've said it all. You've said it all, Cody. So thank you for sharing and revealing your own insecurities, dog. And again, with that, I'll respond accordingly. You don't deserve to be a part of this this community. Or not, you don't deserve. I mean, hey, it's free world, brother. But I'm going to respectfully... Oh, it's glitching out here. 1 second. My recent video. 1 second, brother. YouTube's doing this fun thing where it's glitching out. There we go. But food for thought. Food for thought. Like, it's nothing personal, but, when a person comes to a YouTube live stream, and hey, we have free will, we have autonomy, you can say whatever you want. This is YouTube. It's a public sphere. But if you make the executive decision, the first thing you do when you hop on a stream is say something that's like, I don't know, just revealing your own insecurities about, this, that, the other, that's okay. That's your prerogative. Maybe you're trying to troll, maybe you're trying to be funny, maybe you're working on your stand-up comedy career, I don't know. I don't judge. But the reality is, I'm not going to take that personally, but I'm going to actually send you on your way. I'll revoke your comment rights like that, because I'm trying to create a community of, again, free thinkers, musicians, people that practice a dimension of emotional intelligence. That's literally it. No one else. Like, if you're a person that's just like outlandish, trolling this and that, hey, that's your prerogative. That's cool, brother. Like, again, this is a YouTube channel. I'm growing a portal, a channel. It's a community. So I'm not gonna even think twice about just revoking your comment rights. And you can listen, you can hang out, listen to the music, or do whatever you desire. But just realize the way it shows up, it says everything. What are you from? I'm in British Columbia, friend. Yes, Canada. Canada. Short tunus of that. Interesting. Huh. Drop out of the stamp and just think some nice guitar and humming. Interesting. I mean, I honestly don't have the time, I would say, right as of now, dog. I'll keep this in mind, but yeah. My time is very pressed right now. I have plans with my partner in the next 40 minutes. I gotta head down out of, like, deep into Langley, and I'm just trying to rock the stream, be present. But I appreciate your sharing, official Mike McKay. But yeah. At this moment, I'm just trying to do some music improv, share some practice, and yeah, be present here with my community here. I'm in British Columbia as well. Dope. Yeah, British Columbia is beautiful as ever. Yeah. This hat it's leather, I think. Yeah. It's like a very light leather with an inline that's very freeform. Yeah. Also, yeah, I would say to official Mike McKay, that doesn't sound, no offense personally, it's just, that's not kind of how we operate. I don't want to just like, I don't like, just a rule of thumb, like nothing against you, official Mike McKay, but I don't really like, let's say, historically just collaborating with strangers or trying to almost like, if I went out in my way and tried to just like, yeah, like promote or collaborate with people that I've never met at all, all day long, and then it would deviate from the core intention of how I run this channel. But I mean, all the luck to you, brother. Like, all the power to you. But I think it would be a little bit derailing at this point. Fuck though, I'm very excited to, again, just like my mind just immediately comes back to offering this mastered kind of sound quality. Like every little sound matters, I think, a lot when you're playing for strangers, like in a park or whatever. Like the sound quality being produced matters so much, and I'm just so excited to think about being able to just present this, when I'm like performing in a public place or just doing busking, to have this mastered quality. Just it fills my soul. Yes. Majira sounds so heavily. That it does. Majira, yes, brother. Yeah. There we go. F sharp. And I agree so much, Div. The Manjira, or the Tingsha as I know it. This one, like, I've kind of spoken of it openly. Like, as a whole, all Tingshas or Manjiras sound so beautiful, in my opinion. But I love how this particular one, I don't know why, the way it was crafted, probably just the way the bronze is, or the brass, or whatever it is. It was made so beautifully, where it somehow, the sustain just floats. It really just floats. It's really what's inspired me to use it as like a musical percussive instrument. Yeah. Good, that's awesome, Kat. I love to hear that, brother. We are also high on life. I did a cold plunge right before I popped on the stream and did a nice run. Definitely very, very, very high on life. Purely just sobriety, sober highs. They go hard, brothers and sisters. Like, trust. I could talk about that for a long time. Do I like the Bansuri? The Bansuri. I'm familiar very vaguely, but I'm pretty sure I know it's like a large woodwind that's like, I think, Japanese or Indian in nature. It's like a long woodwind. I would like to play those kind of styles of woodwinds in the future. Beach park bands are the best. They are. Beach park bands, like, honestly, beach buskers, like park bands and buskers. I actually think I told you guys, if you were here the other day, after I did this one of my like Kitsilano streams where I was like I was practicing busking, I went to see a band that was in like a beer garden. That was one of the most trippy, like beautiful psychedelic rock type bands. That was just a trio of some musicians, actually a couple of them that I knew randomly. And very much, yeah. Yes. Nice. That is truly a cake. I don't know what to tell you about that, brother. Oh, I think we need a bit more of this violin rosin. Let's maybe balance that a little bit. Yeah, it sucks we don't have more time, but that being said, I'm extremely excited to go on my adventure a little bit later. But today we're just being present, we're popping in. Yeah, misspelled everything. Bansuri is basically a flute of wood. Yeah. I thank you. Hey, thank you, Danny. But yeah, food for thought. Like, this is kind of me just like kind of going in almost a ranting direction, but I just want to underline, for those of you, I respect everyone's sort of free-form desire to navigate the waters of collaborations in YouTube. And hey, like, I get it, in a casual context, it's fun to want to, like, collaborate and, who knows, maybe like promote and engage and treat, this YouTube playground like something that, is like an expansive collaborative portal. And maybe you desire to just randomly, collaborate, almost treat it like TikTok or something, where TikTok is a interesting platform where everyone seems to want to, reach out and collaborate. It's a very beautiful community for that. I don't really use TikTok, truthfully. But I'll be honest, in my personal opinion as a musician and as a YouTuber, I think that the most important thing, and I've only realized this, as being a YouTuber streamer the last like 9-10 months, professional rapport means a lot. Like, it may not make a lot of sense for some of you that are like, yeah, like, but why not just collaborate with this and that? Or why not just, hey, we should all, jump around and casually lift that or promote this? In my opinion, if you understand professional rapport, like, basically realize that if you are a musician, I personally want to treat my collaborations, like, if I'm going to reach out to somebody in the YouTube sphere, I want to treat them almost with the same amount of respect and reverence that I would to a person in the real world. That is, I want to get to know them. I want to get to know their character. I want to get to know their intentions, who they are as a person. I don't, like, that is more important to me than necessarily just like, hey, let's do something together and make something cool. I want to understand, I want to know the person that I'm connecting with on a deeper level. even if it's just like, I'm like, okay, we have alignment, or our visions align, or I like this person and I want to invest in them, and I want to just support them and invest in them mutually, and etc. And YouTube's an interesting place. It's a very new dimension to me, but I'm used to, navigating the waters of collaborating with friends and people in my community and people in creative worlds that I've known for years and years and years. That's how I often operate. And for me, it almost feels like very, I would say, disheartening for people to try to act like people should basically not treat each other with a level of professional rapport. That is basically like, if I don't desire to collaborate or just, reach out and basically invest my energy in people that I don't know, nothing personal to them. They could be a phenomenal human being, like they really could be. But the reality is, I put myself out here, growing a channel, growing an intention, growing a portal and a business. It's all, my cards are on the table. Like, they're all laid out there. You can see if you watch these live streams. I like to be really transparent with what I'm doing here, what my intentions are, what I'm really just why I'm here. And I feel like it needs to be a mutual effort indefinitely. Like, if a person, again, no offense against anyone who's on whatever pursuits they're on. Like, trust me, as a creator, I really do desire to inspire and help small creators. Trust me, I literally started this 10 months ago. I am a small creator. But I think it's really important to see that professional rapport is everything. You should, if I'm going to want to collaborate with someone, again, outside of the YouTube sphere, I want to treat it like it's someone I would know in the real world. I want to know what their character is. That's important to me. What their intentions are. What their professional endeavors are. Really how they're showing up. And if it's like that's not present, in all honesty, I have zero desire to interact at all, like in a professional context. And this is not about them. They could be, again, most exceptional, creative. And if this is a person I met in the real world, this would be very different. But it's like, for me, I really feel like it's all or nothing, where it's like, if there's a professional rapport that is desiring to be developed, it needs to be treated with that level of professionality. And there's no exceptions. And it's not something I'm just like rigid in, but as I'm a new creator, it's really important to me. I've noticed there's been handfuls, if not like several plus people that have, expressed a genuine desire, like, hey, let's do something, let's collaborate, let's do this, that. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's talk, let's feel this out. And I notice almost every single time at this so far, these people don't even actually understand if they don't even maybe even actually care if there's actually a professional alignment, like if there's an actual reciprocity or aligned level of professionalism, like if they themselves realize that, oh, is this a person that we actually want to like develop something professionally with? And it professionally is not about like business or money per se, but it's about, do people's professional interests actually align? Anyways, that's just me rambling and riffing, but yeah. A lot of musicians, by the way, asking for everyone what affects your music taste. Is Bailey purely on music or lyrics, or both matters? Beautiful question, brother. Let me turn up let me turn up my brightness, because my brightness is way down. YouTube is like TikTok now. Maybe, but not really. Maybe like the slop, brain rot oriented critters, wherever they are. I don't know. I don't absorb or engage in that dimension. Maybe YouTube is taking a page from TikTok in some degree, but I'll be honest, YouTube is YouTube. YouTube is honestly, in my opinion, always will be and always has been a different domain. And there's very good reasons for this. I could talk about this in excess, but we won't go down that rabbit hole too much. And thank you, Danny, for that. Do you have an IG? Give us something to share. I honestly, yeah, in the future, I mean, I'm really, at this point, I don't want to share my Instagram with too many people because it's a personal Instagram. I don't have a professional Instagram at this time. But I'm a musician myself, so I understand we can still be playful in our lives. Yeah. Again, these are just things that I've had to learn and play out when navigating. I'm growing a YouTube channel, right? This is a YouTube channel that for me is like very sacred. It's not like, I don't treat that like in the real world. I will jam with literally anybody. I would love to collaborate and resonate and connect and share my own perspective like all day long. This is what I do and how I operate in the real world. But in my YouTube channel, I do believe in professionalism. And it's not because I'm trying to like be almost like rigid or one dimensional with it. It's because I understand how important it is to set healthy boundaries, especially as a streamer. Because a streamer, it's like even more vital. But as a YouTuber who is a guitar YouTuber, I think that if you can understand and establish professional boundaries, it will translate better. Now, if I had like a million subscribers and, I'm sitting here making X amount of money and I'm just living a different reality, I think it's a little different. I would be happy to give as many people as humanly possible opportunities and lift other creators. But as a young, new YouTube who's still trying to crack the algorithm, who's still trying to even just make any sort of profit, I actually think it's very vital to honor your sacred process as you're developing as a creator. Not compromising your boundaries or your vision or, your creative process of how you want to grow your channel from the roots up. I don't know. It's food for thought. Food for thought. I could talk about this all day long, but I'll put a pin in that. But what affects your music taste is based purely on music taste or lyrics. Honestly, for me as a guitarist, a lot of how I think about music, like if you're talking about learning music, I'm like, hey, how does one develop as a musician? I talk openly a lot about, I think personally it's important to learn to develop your ear. That is, train your ear. My cat just hopped in a box. But any given which way possible. So if we're talking about like what is helping you grow as a musician or a composer or whatever it is, any given which way that inspires you to basically train your ear. And you can do that a million different ways. You can pick up a flute, a pan flute or a flute. You can sing, you can play piano, you can play a guitar in a billion different styles. Any given which way that actually allows you to basically listen to music more. Anything that like lights a fire in your heart. You can listen to punk rock music or freaking alternative rock or classic rock or psychedelic rock or any given genre of music at all that basically makes you hear melodies and think, that is beautiful. And think, maybe even inspires you, like, how can I expand off of that? How can I improvise with that? How can I playfully explore that? And it actually attracts you to pick up your said instrument, whatever that is. I think that's the way, like, truthfully. And for me, almost always universally, I'm very attracted to melodies. Melodies that are maybe present in the violin, melodies that are present in flutes, melodies that are almost always present in guitars because I have a lot of experience in a guitar. Lyrics, I think they awaken something very special. Like, I'll be perfectly honest, I think guitar specializes in showing you, just how beautiful resonance patterns within music, so, chords and sounds, how that can affect you emotionally. Lyrics, I feel, connect with you emotionally in a different way. And I think that's the idea, is like, whether it's lyrics, whether it's a guitar chord or a piano riff or anything you hear, it's all about what is awakening emotions within you. And that's even further if you're playing or composing music. I personally think, whoa, it's knocking over my MIDI board. Whatever sounds or musical dimensions actually elicit an emotional response, and then again translating into you being like, whoa, that's attractive, that makes me wanna, that inspires me to want to play music or think about music or chain together melodic ideas. That I think is the way. And that doesn't even have to do with, say, just like playing, your classic, I don't know, parts of music. It's about training the ear to think and hear melodic ideas. You can do this without an instrument. You can listen to, like, movie scores. I listen to a lot of movie scores, like Hans Zimmerman, and video game movie scores. Obviously, I listen to a lot of guitarists like Stas Ton and Andy McKee and Marcin, however his last name's pronounced, Patrikov. I don't know, but it bounces around the map, brother. But I think the essence of it is like, it's like if you can train the ear, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're correct there, Johnny Silv or Johnny 5, IE 5. Like, honestly, brother, this is the thing. You're 100% correct. You're 1000% correct. I can admit openly that I sit with a little bit of a bias. Maybe it's from grinding out streams, grinding out the YouTube sphere. Maybe basically, I think I've become a little bit oversaturated in the sense where I'm plunging into the YouTube sphere, experiencing thousands of people sometimes in these streams, and I have a bias of how I see, the slim percentage of people maybe approach um, YouTube collaborations. You're right. I see through a filter. I see through a bias that maybe doesn't serve me, truthfully. But I'll be honest, the rule of thumb that I see it is even when I was like, 50 subscribers in or 100 subscribers in, and I had creators approach me being like, hey, let's collaborate. And, I'm always flattered. I'm always intrigued. But I'll be perfectly honest, to me, and again, this is my bias. This is a lifetime of bias that I want to unpackage. And I want to unpackage it. Trust me. I don't want to be a sort of stringent, rigid musician that's just like, but I'm somehow, I don't know, not open or perceptive to the beauty of just collaborating playfully and openly, connecting and jamming with every given person. I think there's beauty in that. I think that's an extraordinary thing. But also, I have a bias, brother. I'm a musician that's literally spent a lifetime, well, like 16, 17 years, desiring to develop musical chemistry with other musicians, like you wanting to joining bands, finding collaborative dimensions, and realizing over 16 years, well, 16 and a half, that personally, what has allowed me to thrive the most has been being a solo artist. I don't know why. That's just how my musical journey has unraveled. It's like there's many people that, I'm sure there's value in having band dynamics. I would love to. I'm very open to establishing like collaborative band dynamics. But for whatever reason, I don't know, it's just part of my path is I personally have thrived, musically that is, doing being a solo artist. Like that's like for me, there's very good reasons. For whatever reason, that's what's created momentum. That's what's been fun, very simply to me. Some people they wouldn't see that joy. They would they want to desire in other sort of domains. But part of how I see it, all that aside, I have a bias. Yes, I got a bias, like heavy bias. And this is a lifetime, way before YouTube, brother. I've been doing this YouTube thing for 10 months, been a musician for 16 and a half years. That's a large gap of lifetime experience of my own lens, my own bias. But I'll be perfectly honest, if we are talking about YouTube, it is a red flag in my mind if a person on the very first interaction, like, let's be real here, if this was a real world interaction and a person were to like walk up to me, a stranger, they like see me perform or they see a person play guitar and they're like, wow, I love what you're doing, you're talented, you got a great style, let's collaborate, like right now, let's professionally bridge our worlds, let's fuse our brands, like let's just, let's release something. And it's not, again, most people aren't, that I'm talking about, these aren't people that just want to jam and, share some music, do something cool. That's great. I would do that all the time in the real world. I do that all the time in the real world. But these are people that actually want to like basically associate my brand with their brand that they have not established for their own gain. They have an agenda. Not saying that's you, not saying that's even any of the people that have spoken, but that happens. That's happened already many times where I've literally been like, oh, these are people that barely even know me. I don't know them at all. They're strangers. They literally don't even have a channel. They don't even show their face. They barely have even desired to actually develop any rapport. And they suddenly desire to now basically reveal an agenda that basically it's not even equivocal. They literally just want me to basically help promote their whatever they're doing. That's cool. Like I get it. They want to grow a brand. It's hard to grow a YouTube channel. But to me, that's a red flag every day of the week. Doesn't matter how talented they are or not. If they, from the first conversation or like 5 conversations in, like, hey, let's collaborate, let's do a promotion, let's promote my channel. That person, if that person did that in the real world, 9 times out of 10, I would not be immediately like, oh, so you just meet me. I don't even know who you are. I don't know your intentions. I don't know what your journey, I don't know anything about you. And you expect me to then desire to invest mutually, act like it's a mutual thing. It's like, that to me is a red flag. That doesn't mean I'm gonna, write off this person entirely. Hell, I'll give the person all the time of day. But I'm saying is, I think that's insane for a person to basically dishonor the sacred way of how people are meant to actually organically grow professional relationships. And this doesn't have to be like professional, like you're a freaking lawyer at a law firm or some sort of like, you know, professional person in music. But I think there's something to be said about understanding there is a process of two people that actually desire to honor each other's process and journey, that you don't just immediately be like, okay, I immediately made, let's throw out this idea, hey, let's promote each other. It's like, do you even understand like what it means to actually want to honor each other's intentions? Like, you know, it's like two people getting to know each other's character, knowing each other's integrity. That is far more important to me than if a person's like, oh yeah, I can play a chord in 4/4, or I can, you know, lay down some synth things, or I'm a musician for X, Y, and Z. I really genuinely give more of a fuck about a person's character, about their integrity, about what their vision is as a YouTuber. These are things that matter more to me, and I can't know that from 10 seconds in or a minute or two in, and a person being like, hey, let's collaborate. It's like, to me, that's just a person that doesn't understand, in my opinion, what's more important in a collaboration sort of development. So I don't know. I want to be open to basically being like, you know what? I don't see the larger picture and all these things, and hopefully I'll, you know, let go of the ego and and moving forward. I'm sure I will. I'll get to a place where I can, you know, be as open-hearted and give people credit and due diligence from positive experience. But in the simplest way, I think people need to treat these things, again, this is the core emphasis that I'll just kind of summarize, is there is something to be said about people honoring what is sacred to themselves and another. Like, that's kind of the concluding thought. This is about this isn't mutually exclusive to music. This is also exclusive to, or not exclusive to, everything you can imagine, every creative dimension. Where we're talking about like acting, romantic relationships, whatever it is you want to put in it. I think people should actually understand that it's important to basically find what is sacred to them, and then see how that manifests and how other people see that as well. Basically be like, are there things that are sacred to you, that are actually important, intimate to you, that you genuinely really care about? And if there is, how can you actually identify how that actually is also appearing in other people's lives? Because if you don't know what is sacred to yourself, if you don't have anything that's sacred, like you don't treat certain things with an actual sacred reverence, and sacred can mean many things, but I'm talking about, like, for me, music is sacred. I've done this for like 16, 17 years of my life. It means the world to me. It's a catharsis. The community, everything about it means everything to me. I love it. I love it deeply. It's very sacred to me. If a person doesn't even have, like, you know, they haven't really developed an awareness of what their intentions are simply within these things, then I think there's a gross sort of disbursement in how they're going to receive these things. And it is what it is. I don't know, and it is like, again, I digress. I've just seen these things play out in real time. Like, this isn't even about this YouTube sphere or whatever. YouTube is YouTube, but I think there's a lot of, I would say, a lot of sort of disheartening disconnection that is present because people have not been able to basically treat certain things in this reality with a sacred respect. Like, truthfully, whether we're talking about whatever it is you want to talk about, like nature, your philosophical beliefs, your values, I think people in this world, a lot of the reason why people are struggling and suffering is because they actually haven't let themselves successfully identify and understand how to actually treat certain things with sacred respect. Whether we're talking about nature, whether we're talking about your love for yourself or love for the feminine and the romanticized partners in your life, whatever it is, maybe it's for family, maybe it's for, you know, the inner child and the youth. People should treat things with a sacred reverence. There is so much disharmony in this world when people basically don't desire to actually develop a sacred context or thing. Be like, wait a second, there are things in this world that I think really deserve a level of sacred respect and reverence. And the fact that a lot of people can't even acknowledge that or process that, it is what it is. Like, you know, we're all on our own journeys, but I think it's very appalling and it's very disheartening. And again, we're all on our own journeys, we're all in different phases of our journeys, but in my mind, it's clear as day. You look at what's going on in a larger construct, social spheres, what's going on with our planet, what's going on at XYZ. A lot of people, we've lost respect. We've lost sacred respect for some of the most important things in this world. I think catharsis, healing, the intimate journey that is through expression and almost like the shamanic context of music, this deserves sacred reverence. It deserves respect. Like, why have we as human beings lost a almost primal respect for the things like Mother Nature, for ourselves, fundamentally, the primal beings of ourselves? We've lost respect. So, when I look at things that I think really we as human beings need to return to, be it if they're core values of just what it means to be a good human being, yes, I will die on that hill to say that people should treat things that they see in their lives with a level of sacred reverence or respect. And again, society is like suffering because we've lost a genuine deep level of respect for certain things. But anyways, that's just me ranting at this point, but I've come to these core conclusions over and over and over again. I see the way these things manifest in real time, and those that have lost or maybe just deviated temporarily, say, from this level of sacred reverence. And it's kind of, in many rights, it's appalling. I'm like, like, that's bizarre. It's like, but it's beautiful because also the key is also simple. We as human beings definitely need to let ourselves return to that which is sacred within ourselves. Whether we're talking about, again, nature, whether we're talking about our core passions, the love for ourself, for the feminine, for reality, for things that actually deserve sacred reverence. Like, these are very core things. When we lose that sort of sacredness for what we actually connect with, even like the sacredness of genuine divine context or spirit, which I won't go on that rabbit hole right now, but I would say this is the root of so much suffering in this world right now. Oof, F sharp. Acho que assim é. Hola. Yes. Anyways, a lot of words. Yeah, thank you, Jalib. Or, sorry, yeah, Ghibli on guitar. I, I've had a few friends of mine, through my social platforms, kind of express that they're just like arduously being like, yeah, brother, you should 100% just studio record or hop on, do some stuff on Spotify and this and that. And yeah, 100%. I think this next month I really want to devote myself. I've spoken this openly. I've recently discovered there's a studio that's actually government funded, free for musicians in the local area, that you can hop in and just do lengthy studio record sessions. So I want to look into that, and I think just hop in the studio and kind of just do these things. I'll probably do live streams as I hop in the studio and do some like live studio sessions where I'm just gonna hop in there and record everything and anything that flows through. Originals, improv, sound journeys, and capture it in studio capacity. And I think those are definitely the things that I'm going to master and have studio prepared to send off into the Spotify BandLab sphere. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Rex. Absolutely. I can't tell if you're projecting that to or you're directing that to me, and if you are, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Honestly, and that's again, that's part of me accepting, the consensus of people's thought, like being like, hey, but I think this is what it means to collaborate, or this is what I find important. Again, I don't think there's much disagreement. Like this is the core distinction that I love to make is yes, we're not talking about, like, let's make this abundantly clear. What I'm talking about in many rights, when I like to underline what I'm talking about with like collaborative efforts and professional rapport and blah, 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 we're talking about managing a YouTube channel. We're not talking about two musicians collaborating, in the local community, or two musicians walking on the street jamming, or like, hey, I'm a friend of yours, or hey, we're on a beach or a forest or a park. That's the real world. Very different. This is a YouTube channel. This is a massive multi-billion-dollar platform where a lot of people, not everybody, some of us are just trying to, navigate our own kind of creative endeavors. This is a massive business. Not to say that's all it is, but let's be real here is if you're managing a community, you're trying to manage a business and a channel, there's a little bit of a different context. And what I'm basically the context that I'm underlining is you got to make healthy professional choices and boundaries. Like you just do. Let's be real here. If you're boundaryless and you're, traversing the YouTube wilderness and you have zero awareness of your own boundaries, your own professional, um, I'd say intentions, you're going to fail. You're going to fail 9 times out of 10. You're going to collapse under your own, I don't know, ethical framework collapsing. You're going to lose motivation. You're probably going to get teared left, right, and center. You're going to fail. Like you are. So professional boundaries are healthy. Hell, having an awareness of boundaries is a whole healthy stuff. And part of enforcing healthy boundaries is enforcing them. Like literally like, hey friend, I respect your opinion, but this is what my boundaries are in relation to this platform. This is not a thing I do in the real world. This is just what I do on a YouTube channel that I'm managing. But I hear you out, and I agree so much, Rex. That's me trying to share my authentic perspective about being like, hey, in my experience, having healthy boundaries, treating certain things with a healthy level of respect is important to me. And I respect other people's opinions about where they desire to, playfully explore their own sort of content creation endeavors. But this is my authentic opinion based on my experience, and that's it is what it is. I'm happy to be transparent and share my experiences. That's part of what I'm super down to do in this channel. Yeah. I don't know. If poetry is beautiful. I love poetry. I mean, sometimes people can, stretch the boundaries a little bit. I don't know. I love poetry, brother. But lyricism is so beautiful. I don't know. I'm not a stickler for any type of lyricists or poems or rap or spoken word poetry. I honestly, weirdly enough, I love it all. Like I'm a massive fan of pretty much anything people can do lyrically. I really respect anyone that is able to enter that domain, even if it's casually, if they're at a spoken word poetry slam, or they're a rapper, or frickin' they're doing some kind of genre of music. I mean, pop music, when it's like lazy, very like unintentional lyrics, that's a little bit, I don't know, that's not really for me, but still, hey, poetry rocks. Yeah. Very nice. Nice. Yeah. It is honestly, well, that's the thing. It's a job that is the weirdest model of job. Like I could talk about that for the longest time, but this is a job that I actually treat with deep devotion and I see the long-term vision of it, but it's no other job, or there's very few other jobs unless you're like an entrepreneur, running a business and growing it, you're selling a product. Very few jobs basically desire you to devote, 10, 11, 12, 13 months or, years of your time to make very little money with very little translation other than, growing the metrics and growing intangible value to then have the potential to explode into an infinite ceiling of not only monetary and metric value, but it's like you have to basically see in a long-term capacity of how you grow a business. And it takes a very specific mentality, but it's a job that I would say is the best job I've ever had, easily. But it's not necessarily like a normal job. You have to be able to break open the model of what a job is in your own belief system to even be able to approach any success or metric of success in it. But it's beautiful, yeah. It's my favorite job, definitely. You have a lot of feeling and you don't shower much. Nice, nice. I love this. We have the people flowing through that are clearly like so projective. Like I hear you, Divide. You're feeling insecure, brother. Like you're really feeling it's like bubbling up within you, brother. You're like revealing, you're like saying this, weird unhinged stuff has no relevance to me. Like I get it, brother. You're saying something about showering, I don't know, this and that, about feelings. Like, bro, that's hilarious. Like I get it. You're feeling insecure about your own ability to express your emotions or whatever is going on. That's your prerogative, brother. But thank you for sharing. But you're clearly not the target audience here, brother. Deeply appreciate the good words. And Ghibli on guitar. And Mike, appreciate you, dog. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Popcorn. Yeah. Magic. I thank you. Yeah. I mean, at some point, it all makes sense. Osho scares me. As it should. As it should. uh. Osho's definitely... Man, I have to say, objectively, and this is kind of a thing that flows through, I really appreciate the level of raw authenticity that some of you are showing up, if not the mass majority. Like, let's be real here. Even if you guys, like the few that are like expressing a bit of polarization or, they're expressing some projections, you guys are showing up authentically. Like you're sharing your opinions, even if it's against or, maybe it's not even in the perimeters of this channel. Hats off to you, like, for showing up authentically. And as for the majority of the audience that's here, that is, just here for it and sharing your perspectives, like that's dope, bro. Like that's a green flag in my mind. No matter what your opinions are at, I commend you guys for showing up authentically. And yeah, it's quintessentially the majority of how I like to hold space for these streams is just play my music, share some perspectives, talk about guitar, teach some dimensions of guitar, whatever is really resonant with you guys that you feel is really flowing for you. I really feel it's an honor to hold space for that. But yeah, I mean, as for Osho's beliefs, we could go in that rabbit hole very deeply, Winston, and I appreciate you sharing. But that's an interesting statement. That's a very interesting statement because, man, that can go so deep. That can go so deep. Unfortunately, we've run out of time today because I only had a short period because I'm going to see my partner, and I have to travel about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna bounce. Sadly, I would love to stick around for the next hour and play some guitar and do really just conceptualize more, share some breath work, and do some stuff. But I'm out of time at this point. But say la vie. All I can say to Winston is, if you really unpackage, like, I really want to be transparent with you, brother, on a conclusive thought. Osho's work, if you really unpackage it and you understand it, it is nothing to do. It is nothing to do with, I would say, okay, let's assume that there is a model of your religious ideology of choice, which you're saying something to do with Christ, this and biblical nature, whatever it is. Again, that's your prerogative, brother. Let's pretend that you, for a fact, are promoting the healthy, I would say, emotionally intelligent ideals of what you're promoting. You're promoting spirituality. You're promoting the actual healthy divine context that you take away philosophically and spiritually from said Christian ideology, right? Let's pretend that that's what you're promoting. Maybe you are, maybe you are. I don't know. But you're telling me that the actual healthy takeaway from what you're noticing, like your healthy practices, your healthy disciplines, and your healthy, I'd say, spiritual integration that is present, you're trying to actually tell me that that's actually counter to what Osho is actually promoting. I'm going to say very confidently, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Osho is, for a fact, the ideals he's promoting, like on a deep core level, like the actual connection to a free thinking philosophical context that aligns with that which allows you to connect with a divine spirit, a divine context. Basically, like, what does it actually mean to do things, to live in a way that is actually awakening something that is spiritually integrated? Not the, I'd say, spiritual ego or the weird, let's say, religious ideology model that you might paint to be like, oh, but these people are on a religious or spiritual path. These things are not synonymous. Religion is not synonymous with spirituality. We won't go too deep down that rabbit hole, but just because a person is practicing XYZ model of spiritual practice or religious ideology practice has nothing to do with their own spiritual growth. They're not mutually exclusive things. And I think that in the deepest right, Osho is literally just a dude. He's just a dude. He's just a human being that for whatever reason chose to take upon a role as a teacher, as a spiritual teacher. He's a tantric guru from the East. He's illiterate. He's done many interesting things. But Osho literally is just a normal guy that went on a path that chose to be basically a role model or a embodiment of almost like a model challenger, like a person that challenges models and is basically trying to be a mirror for a lot of the modern and Western society to look at. That's literally all Osho is. You look into his teachings, he's not trying to force you to be like, oh, but practice this thing or that thing, or oh, this is the right or wrong way. He's saying a lot of things. He writes a lot of books. You can listen, you cannot listen. But Osho, in the simplest right, he's a mirror that is asking us to challenge our models about specific ideologies. That's the core essence of what he's doing. Now, if you approach a healthy model of spirituality, you realize that all the spiritual indoctrinations or the spiritual literary devices are trying to do the same thing. So if you can look honestly in what these things are trying to actually request from you, they're doing the same thing. Osho's teachings is literally just a mirror that is trying to ask you to challenge these models in a healthy way. If you can actually look at a genuine, healthy spiritual journey, and you can also take away that same model. If you can. If you don't, like if you look at all these religious sort of ideologies and you basically don't see the actual core application of what it's trying to translate. Basically, it's not actually helping you become a better human being or spiritually integrate, then this has nothing to do with said spiritual practitioner or this spiritual icon or this literary or this speaker or whoever. It's like you just got to ask yourself on a deeper level, what does it actually mean to integrate, spirituality, even if you can, underline that. So Osho is just a mirror. He's just a mirror. He's polarizing. He's contrasting. That's the point. He's challenging models. All the freaking spiritual teachers down to the history are doing the same thing. If you can't see that clearly, if you can't understand how to extract and differentiate that, then well, guess what? You're just, you fall into the same category of the mass majority of people who fail to discern or decipher the actual spiritual or core models of what these teachers are trying to tell you. And it is what it is. Like, that's okay. That's actually a part of the human experience, I would say. I don't know. If that makes sense. Yeah. Evil exists, and so does the wrong path, and the deductive reasoning. There's a true path. I guess good luck with that. Yeah. Evil does exist. Evil exists, so the wrong path, and it does not deductive reasoning. So the wrong path, it does exist. Of course it does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, I gotta say, I appreciate the level of raw authenticity that you guys are showing up. Maybe it's because it's a Sunday. Maybe you guys did some awesome, just celebrating with existence yesterday. I don't know. I had a quiet night where I just like reflected. I went to actually to a dance battle. It's like a tutting dance battle. I was too late to compete, but I just like went to a dance battle, met some cool people, had a very quiet night. But I love where your guys' mind's at. I really honor and appreciate the way you guys are choosing to show up. You're asking really brilliant, beautiful questions. And even for those of you, some of you that are showing up, that are, new people here that are just like projecting a little bit of, I don't know, whatever you're projecting, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure it out, friends. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's evil exists in that. Was it that? We got two hats. Is one good, not good enough? Two hats is is the way right now, brother. Also, I have very long hair and I like to keep it tied up right now. Yeah. Yeah, but with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I would love to be present here, hold space, and play some music, go in the forest. But as we are out of time right now. And it's actually perfect time. Right now it's 2:22 in British Columbia. So I'm going to take that as a beautiful omen. Yeah. And I guess you'll never know, Natrona. You'll never know. You'll never know. And I guess that's your prerogative, brother. We can't all have style. We can't all understand style. I get you, brother. As I find very intriguing, and I find it's a beautiful reflection that some people, for whatever reason, not to say unitrona, but some people, they suppress themselves so arduously. Like they really do. They suppress themselves. They suppress themselves in the words they speak, in the way they choose to show up, maybe in intimate relationships, or the clothes they wear, or the way they, carry themselves in the world. It is what it is. Like, I'm not here to cast judgment, but some people, they just suppress themselves so heavily, and it's unfortunate. I think you should, no matter who you are, give yourself permission, when it's aligned, when it's organic, to express your truth, whether it's with your words, whether it's with what you dress, truly. Like, if it's authentic to you, authentic expression is penetrating. Suppressing yourself and your expression is actually the core center of so much fragmentation. Truly, like if you look at the center of so much indifference and fragmentation that people are suffering from in this world, it is because they've suppressed themselves. And the core answer is to be authentic with yourself. It's to authentically express yourself with your words. Be honest with what your highest vision of what you want to say, of what you want to do, of what you want to express yourself. This doesn't mean you have to wake up tomorrow and, I don't know, dress like I do or pick up a guitar and be a performance artist or guitarist, but I honestly think I'm saying this with a genuine, deep level of sincerity is, let yourself entertain the idea you don't need to suppress yourself, whatever it is. You see a clothing or you see an article of this or you see a guy speaking his truth and that may be triggering. Sit with that. That's all I would say. Never forget Freebird. I would have to know it and remember it to forget it. So I don't think I'll ever forget, brother. Anyways, with that, thank you so much for being here. I know it's very short. We're popping in. It depends on what time I get back. I may do a stream later, but with that, again, I just wanted to share with you some raw excitement from how stoked I am for the future of studio quality mastered audio experience, that in the next future streams, like when I'm chilling in the forest and doing performances, it's going to sound really beautiful. Like, I'm really stoked about this. I can't even express this enough. It's like, it's a game changer. So that's going to be cool. But anyways, I might just have to, Dark Lumen. You've been so adamant about Freebird. I swear, bro, every time we talk about it, weirdly enough, I'm like, okay, eventually I'm going to have to just listen to this song and see why he's so stoked about it. But yeah, Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, with that, I hope you guys have a great day and a great night wherever you are. And as Wim Hof would say, I hope you have a good life. Yeah. And remember to honor yourself and honor each other. And feel free to subscribe to this channel. It's my outro line. I teach guitar and I do meditative sound journeys. I release lots of original music and all these kind of weird YouTube shenanigans and stuff. So yeah, if this resonates, feel free. But with that, I deeply appreciate the support and thank you for being here. Nice. Man, wow, Dr. Lecter, thank you for sharing. I getcha. You're not my target audience. You're clearly not my target audience, so thank you for revealing that so I can ban you from the channel. So thank you. We'll revoke your comment rights. But anyways, with that, much love. Ashe.